In order to solve this question, we have to know some properties. Firstly, given an arbitrary gx equals to y, we should know that if this is the density function of x, and this should be the density function of y, and that's the gx. We should know that the probability that x falls in the dx range and the probability that y falls in the dy range should be the same. So we know that the density function of fxx times dx should equals to fyy times dy. And when we take the integral of both sides, we can get the equation of the distribution function that should be capital Fxx equals to Fyy. Now we have the equation we can solve this question. As it's shown in the question, we know that the random variable x is uniform in the interval from -1 to 1. So we know that the density function of fxx equals to 1 divided by 2 when x is ranging from -1 to 1 and should be 0 in the other conditions. Now, given by the definition of the distribution function and the density function, we know that the distribution function of x should be 1 divided by 2 times x plus 1 when x is ranging from -1 to 1 and should be 1 when x is bigger than 1 and should be 0 in other conditions. Now we have figured out both the density function and the distribution function of x. Now we know that the density function of y equals to e to the power of -1 times uy. And now we can use the equation the distribution function of y equals to integral from -infinity to y, and the density function of y dy. And now we should use the property of the step function that should be 0 to y e to the power of -1 dy, and should be 1 minus e to the power of -y. And that's both the density function and the distribution function of y. Now, when x is ranging from -1 to 1, we can look at the distribution function of x and the distribution of y. That should be 1 divided by 2 times x plus 1 equals to 1 minus e to the power of -y. Then we get y equals to minus ln 1 minus x divided by 2. And that's the gx when x is ranging from -1 to 1 as follows. When x is simply less than -1, we should get that 0 equals to 1 minus e to the power of -y. In this case, y should be simply equals to 0. And when x is simply bigger than 1, we know that 1 equals to 1 minus e to the power of -y. In this case, y should be infinity. And now we know that gx equals to 0 when x is less than -1 and should be -1. And when x is ranging from -1 to 1, gx should be minus ln 1 minus x divided by 2. And when x is bigger than 1, gx equals to infinity. And that's the answer of this question. That's all. Thanks.